Welcome into today's edition of Locked on Cardinals, joined by St. Louis Cardinals minor leaguer Alec Burleson. Alec, thanks for joining on the show today, and how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know Alec, he was a 2021 MILB organization All-Star for the Cardinals. Had a meteoric rise through the minor league system last year. And Alec, we're going to get to a lot of different subjects. We have a couple of fan questions as well. But I just want to kind of start generally. When you look at your season last year, you played at three different levels. You started out in Peoria, then Springfield, then Memphis. What can you summarize from that experience playing at all those levels in such a short amount of time?
Oh, it was great. I mean, obviously, I didn't think my career would, move that fast. I didn't think it would, I would, starting the year in high A, it was like have a good year in high A. If you get moved up, great, but just finish the year in high A, have a good year. And then I got sent up to Double A after 2 weeks, and I was like, all right, probably not going to go up anymore. Just have a really good year in Double A and finish the year, and then get to the off season. And then got called up to Memphis, and it was just a great experience with just meeting basically everybody in the organization, all the players, and it was just a great experience for sure.
Now, I feel like a lot of times when, especially baseball, when somebody gets on a roll, whether it's hitting or pitching, it's all about muscle memory and repetition. When you got on a roll at your different levels and then you got called up to a different one, did you find it hard to kind of stay in the groove? And especially if you have a different organizational hitting philosophy from Double A to Triple A, or what was that like trying to balance the different philosophies and different coaches you were with?
Yeah, it's definitely, you definitely get comfortable, being around certain guys or certain coaches. But I think with the Cardinals, it's an overall philosophy, an organizational philosophy, and all the hitting coaches buy in. And um, different hitting coaches have different kind of, I wouldn't say drills, but maybe some different ticks or something that can help you, and you get comfortable with them, and then you get moved up. But I think throughout the three levels that I went, I think everybody was awesome, and but it's definitely hard to go up a level, and you're trying to fit in and find your place, and all while trying to produce on the baseball field. And because I take pride in being kind of a locker room guy, and um, I think that's just as important as obviously playing the game itself, and trying to balance all that. And it's definitely tough, but I think it's something that I did well last year, and going to try and continue that this year.
How do you see yourself continuing that? Because if things go well, likely you'll be at AAA for most of this year, maybe even going up to the major leagues. But do you envision yourself? Obviously, who knows what's going to happen, but being a little bit more of a anchor in the locker room at Memphis this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of older guys in that are going to be in the locker room, and I was fortunate enough to last year spend some time with them, get to know them. So I think it'll just from a comfortability. I don't even know if that's a word, but just
We'll
from
go with
just
it.
from a comfort standpoint, coming in and starting the year fresh and being around guys that and I'm not really going to focus on I'm going to take the same look as when I was in Peoria or Springfield, or just kind of have a good year there. And because I can't control when they're going to, call me up. It may be this year, it may not. And, I'm not really going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus on, what I can control and my preparation, and hopefully that pays off for sure.
Well, there's an old adage that my high school baseball coach used to tell me, and you're probably a much smarter man than I am or he is, but he always said that you're a sore arm away from getting playing time, and I'm sure that that mantra sticks well to you with going up all those three different levels. But let's go back to draft day, because it was 2020 when you were drafted. You were the second round pick of the St. Louis Cardinals, overall number 70. Only 5 rounds in that year's draft because of the COVID shortened season and everything Major League Baseball tried to do with the pandemic, probably at its height at that point. Did you take more pride in knowing that you were drafted in the second round with there only being 5 rounds, or does that even impact you, or are you just happy to get drafted by anybody?
I mean, it was definitely, there was a lot of question. Once my season got canceled at East Carolina, I didn't know what was going to happen. So I kind of stayed prepared. We didn't know if teams were going to have workouts or whatnot. But obviously I was fortunate enough to get drafted by the Cardinals, and I think that it was a surprise just because nobody knew what was going to happen with that draft. We didn't know if they were going to take risk, if they were going to, play it safe, but definitely happy that I was a second rounder, and that's kind of where I saw myself. But I just wasn't sure with the COVID draft. I mean, COVID threw a lot of stuff at us, and we just didn't know. I talked to my agent a lot, and he had his ideas, but we just didn't know. But obviously, very happy that the Cardinals decided to take me there.
It seems to have worked out for both parties so far within the first year or so of your guys' partnership together. And with that 2020 season, obviously there was no minor leagues last year. Did you? I saw. See, you played in some summer league. How did you stay sharp when there was no real? Like you said, your college season was canceled. How did you find yourself staying sharp in those times?
So I went home from East Carolina after our season got canceled, and just this was in the heat of the pandemic, and wasn't sure what was actually going on. So tried to do a lot of in-home stuff, and then kind of when it loosened up a little bit, was able to get into a gym. I would go up to my local high school or my high school, and hitting the cage outside and stuff, and just prepared for if they wanted to try and get guys together to have kind of a workout or something. I kind of had a little bit of a gym down in my basement, not much, but just enough to get me by, and then just doing anything I could to make sure that I was prepared for whatever was going to happen.
When you look at, or at least when I look at your college stats across 3 seasons, you hit 12 home runs, and then in 1 season in the minor leagues, you hit 22 home runs across 3 different levels. Was there anything that you did a lot in those, gym workouts or at home workouts that you tried to retool your swing mechanically to add a little bit of power to your game?
I wouldn't credit it to a swing. I think my swing now is actually more simple than it was in college. It's very, very short. Everything's kind of preset. It was just more of a fact that when I was at East Carolina, I was pitching and hitting, doing both. And so obviously I had to take care of my arm. So I couldn't lift as a normal position player. And, once I finally got drafted and, we had some talks like, hey, you're more than likely just going to hit. So focus on that. I was able to get in the gym and do a lot of different things that I wasn't able to do because I had to take care of my arm. And I think that was the biggest contributor to that. I had a little bit of power in college, but, being able to get in the gym and do those types of things, I think that's what really contributed. I wouldn't contribute it to a swing. I think like I said, I think my swing is actually more simple, and it's not much different. I just think I've been able to get stronger and, more agile and focus on the things that a position player would focus on rather than, not just a pitcher, but a two-way that has to, do all those things at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times, growing up, everybody wants to be a two-way player. Did you have a preference on, obviously you played two-way in college, as you mentioned, but did you have a preference once you got to the big leagues? I wanted to pitch, I wanted to hit, I wanted to try both, wanted to try to do the Shohei Ohtani route, or were you just kind of whatever the organization told you is what you were going to do?
I mean, going through the draft process, most teams were saying, hey, your bat's probably going to be what we want. And I was fine with that. I really enjoyed pitching, but I think that I wasn't the most talented pitcher out there, but, my mindset really made my stuff play up a little bit. And so I think that's why, I was a fairly decent college pitcher, and, but I just love hitting. Like that's kind of that's just what I want to do. And, being able to solely focus on that was a big mental release, really. Going to practice at East Carolina, I'm there before everybody else, having to get my pitching stuff in so that I can do my hitting stuff. And then, I'm on a pitching workout plan. So I have scheduled lifts and stuff. And it was just, pitching on Friday, and then I have to get a lift in on Saturday before the game. So, it was just a big mental release more than anything. But no, I definitely glad that, and like I've said before, if they want me to get there in 3 outs, I could probably do it right now. But I'd rather stick to hitting. So.
But this episode is brought to you in part by BetOnline.net. Even though football's over, basketball is in full steam for pro and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performances, props, and to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline.net is the number one spot for all of your sports betting needs. BetOnline remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. It's not just basketball as well. BetOnline.net is your source for hockey, boxing, UFC odds, right down to Olympic coverage and information as well when it was happening. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and actions. BetOnline, where the game starts. Yeah, it's a lot of times if position players are pitching, it's either really good for your team or really bad for your team, depending on what the score is. I remember whenever I was little, I would always tell my grandfather, I was like, why aren't pitchers really good hitters? They know what pitches are coming. That was my little 9 or 10-year-old mindset. But does your extensive pitching background, has that helped you at the professional level? Obviously, having an idea of how to attack a hitter, does that help you attack a pitcher?
Oh, for sure. It's definitely something that, I take pride in. It is not so much thinking as a hitter or just thinking about scouting reports or obviously those are important, but, being able to not so much get frustrated with yourself in the box, but say, okay, he just beat me with this. What is he going to try to do with that again? Is he going to try and throw that again? Is he I'm thinking he's going to throw that again and try and throw something else. So I try and put my mind when I'm in the box in the pitcher's mind. So it's more of, and my talent will take care of itself. But, I have an advantage if I can kind of pick the pitcher's brain and kind of know what's going on. And not only when I'm in the box, when I'm in the dugout watching the game or something, you can pick a lot of things up from what a pitcher wants to do, what he's trying to do that day. But no, it's definitely an advantage. And, there's a lot of guys that can do it, but I feel like me having that experience at a high level of pitching, like I know what they want to do with it. So.
Well, you've definitely taken that advantage and run with it with the numbers you've put up in your first year of professional baseball. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are in Florida right now prepping for your minor league season. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're here early. I'm here early. There's a couple other guys here early. Just taking ground balls or taking fly balls, hitting. Just kind of a half day, getting it done in the morning, then having your afternoons. So.
Sure. When does the rest of the team get in and just kind of elaborate a little bit more on preparation for the season? Is your guys' opening day is coming up quicker than we might realize?
Yeah, so I think everybody has to be here. Everybody has to be here for physicals on Saturday, I believe. So that's the 5th, March 5th, I believe. And then I think our first kind of on the field stuff will be Monday. So, we have this week kind of with the early group to get our stuff in, and then spring training starts Monday, I believe.
Awesome. And I know it was announced a little while ago, if you don't mind my asking, that the AAA is going to have some automated strike zones. Do you have any thoughts on that, or how you guys are preparing for that, if that's going to affect you guys at all?
Yeah, I just found that out about a week ago, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that go into a baseball game, and I think the human aspect of it is one of those things that goes into a baseball game. And the umpires are there, and they've been there since baseball first began. And I think taking that away, I know the pitchers are going to love it. Pitchers are going to. But they're also, not going to get some pitches that they think they should get. And then they go look at the track man and it's not in the zone and there's not, nothing they can do. But, I can just picture, a catcher setting up outside to me, calling a fastball away, and he just jerks it into me and it clips the track man, and the catcher's flying across the home plate to catch it. And it, there's nothing you can do because the umpire's going to call a strike, and can't argue with him because he's not even making the call. So, yeah, I'm not a fan, but, it's something you'll have to deal with. But, there's some positives. Like once you learn the zone, the zone. You don't have to go to the yard every day and what's the umpire's zone going to be today? Yesterday he loved the pitch at my neck. Now, was he going to give us three or four balls off?
Right.
So you know the zone, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think I'm in a similar mindset with you. I am an umpire at the high school and a little bit at the low collegiate level, and it's one of those things that might have to adapt to a little bit. But like you said, that the human element is a part of it, and there's probably a different discussion to have umpires be held maybe more accountable for their strike zones or for their calls. But I'm on the same boat as you in terms of why take out the human element of it. And again, that's a different soapbox for for a different time.
Yeah.
Um, Going back to kind of your season, is there what are some personal goals you have for this upcoming season for yourself, either offensively, defensively, or just as a team?
I mean, personally, for me, I want to be able to, um, just maintain throughout the season. I feel like once I kind of got to AAA with all the traveling, and obviously it's my first season, so I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, you can have guys tell you what's going to happen, but um, I think just being able to play 140 or however many games I'm going to play, just being able to produce all the way through the end of the season. And I kind of, like I said, I kind of hit a lull there in Memphis, just because I was tired and I feel like there were better ways I could have taken care of my body, and really focusing on those this season and leaning on people to kind of guide me through that have been through it. And obviously I've been through it, but there's a lot more than just going out there and playing 9 innings every day. You've got the pre stuff to prevent injuries, and then you've got the post stuff to again prevent injuries and make you better down the stretch, rather than being super hot for 2 months and then you fall off the cliff because you haven't taken care of your body or anything. So personally, that for me is just obviously having a good year, but having a good year throughout the entire year, not just the first 4 or 5 months, however long it may be.
When you talk about preparation and taking care of your body, in high school you mentioned the extra workload you had to do with pitching and the pre stuff you had to do Friday, Saturday, and all this kind of thing. Do you think that it was kind of a change in routine when you were just preparing as a hitter, and that kind of attributed to the lull that you mentioned, or was it just plain and simple? It was just a lot of baseball games at one time.
Yeah, you think in college, my last full college season, I played half the games that I played last year,
Right.
And we're flying, with East Carolina, we're flying to Houston, wherever we're going, we're flying. But now we're on a bus, and it's just a different. And you're playing 6 days out of the week continuously. In college, you're playing 56 games, but you're playing 4 a week. Now here, you're playing 6 a week, and your off day, you're more than likely traveling. So yeah, like you said, it's just plain and simple. Just it's a lot of baseball, and you know, doing the little things right to take care of your body to make sure that you have longevity through the season. I think that's a big key for me, to be able to produce throughout the end of the year.
When you think back to last year, the jump to each league probably dealt with a lot of different things, specifically between Double A and Triple A. So between your time at Springfield and your time at Memphis, what was the biggest difference in ability on the mound of what you were facing? Were the pitches that much faster? Were they just that much more located? What was the biggest thing you think you had trouble with adjusting Double A to Triple A?
So I think guys in AAA, most guys in AAA, especially relievers, have been to the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
So they know what they're doing, or they're right there on the fringe, of breaking. They're one good outing away from getting there, and I just think they know what they're doing. They know how to pitch. They're really good at reading swings, and that's credit to catchers too. I think catchers, as I got up levels, were a lot better. Not just back there as a backstop. They're actually, learning the game and reading hitters and stuff like that. So I think that's, they just know how to pitch. And every level I went up from high A to Double A, Triple A. They just got better at pitching. I wouldn't say the stuff was that much better. Obviously, you have some outliers with some different guys, but they just know how to pitch. They know what they're doing up there, which obviously has hitting's hard, but it makes it a lot harder when the guy knows what he's doing. So,
But first, I want to tell you about the delicious protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, and that is Built Bar. It's one of the few New Year's resolutions I have not given up on yet, and that is eating healthy because of my delicious Built Bars. There are tons of flavors to choose from. They're all covered 100% in chocolate, and that includes a new product called Built Bar Puffs. Puffs are protein-infused marshmallows. They're delicious. Everything at Built Bar is delicious, and everything at Built Bar is healthy. You get the best of both worlds. Go to Built.com right now. You won't be disappointed because you'll see that most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein, and that delicious chocolatey taste. So get a milk brownie, coconut, almond, and new for this month, you also have the option of a white chocolate cookies and cream. Built.com is the place to be for all of your Built Bar products. And if I haven't enticed you enough, here's a promo code to save some money. Locked15, LOCKED15 to get 15% off your order. Use promo code Locked15 for 15% off at Built.com. This episode is also brought to you in part by RockAuto.com. It's a family business serving auto parts customers online for over 20 years. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you're ever going to need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning while the person behind the counter looks at their database to see what they have? You have access to RockAuto.com at home or on the go on your mobile device. So don't choose to spend up to 100% more for the same parts at a chain store when you can get it for half that price at rockauto.com. They have everything you need. Brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. Go explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto part needs. Go to rockauto.com, see all the parts available for your car or truck, and be sure to write Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know that we sent you. RockAuto.com. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. They're at RockAuto.com. Yeah, hitting, in my opinion, is the hardest thing to do in professional sports. All due respect to every other sport, and I'm not saying anything else is easy, but trying to hit a round baseball with a round bat, with the way these pitchers are throwing these days, I don't know how you did that and pitched a baseball, and let alone I don't know how you do that in and of itself. So I'm in awe of you and everybody else there. When you look forward to this season, is there any, or even last season, was there a teammate in Memphis that you really kind of bonded with, and maybe you kind of connected with a little bit more that you're looking to kind of grow a relationship with this season? Maybe it's a veteran or somebody that you're taking under your wing, even as a first year. Is there any relationships that you're looking forward to this summer?
I mean, there's a lot of guys. Brendan Donovan. He started in Peoria with me, and then a couple weeks after I got to Springfield, he came to Springfield, and then 3 or 4 weeks after I got to Memphis, he was up in Memphis. So we kind of took the same journey, but he's actually my roommate now. And also Luke and Baker, he kind of took me under his wing in Springfield, and he was up in Memphis the last 2 weeks of the season. So there's a lot of guys that I was able to get close to in Memphis, and just looking forward to when they get here on Friday or Saturday and seeing them and getting back to work.
Yeah, we're going to, as we kind of start to wrap up, going to get to a little bit of a fun sort of questions here as we wrap up. Minor leagues, in my opinion, are known for their wacky names. They're fun mascot names. Cardinals, they got the Springfield Cardinals and the Memphis Redbirds. What's the wackiest minor league nickname that you can think of that you've played at?
That I've played at. You got the Jumbo Shrimp in Jacksonville. That was kind of wonky. Can't think of anybody else. I'm trying to think.
One at the AA level that I always think of is the Akron Rubber Duckies.
You got them, and you got the Trash Pandas.
Trash Pandas.
You got but luckily, or didn't play any of them. I'm trying to think of anybody in our league or anything. Pretty much everybody had a normal name, but yeah, the first one that came to mind was the Trash Pandas. I don't know why that one came to mind, but like I said, the Jumbo Shrimp. That's just kind of a little different. So
definitely got some odd ones. What are your thoughts on like those odd nicknames? Would you feel like, would that affect your play at all if you were playing on those kind of odd, maybe not necessarily serious mascots, or is it just something half nothing or another?
No, I don't think it would matter. Still the game, and that's more for the fans than anything. I feel like it may be weird to put on a uniform that says Rubber Duckies, but it's still not going to affect how I'm going to play. So
At the end of the day, if you're hitting 20-something home runs a year, I think you'll be just fine, right?
yeah,
One question comes in from Twitter, a guy named Zach Billings. What is your order at Waffle House?
All-Star Special for sure.
What's in an All-Star Special?
It's got everything. It's got a scrambled eggs. It's got I normally get bacon and sausage, hash browns with cheese, and a chocolate chip waffle.
Chocolate chip. Ooh, that's really good. I don't like waffles, but I feel like if anything has chocolate on it, I'll be fine. I think
if there's any opportunity to put chocolate on something, it's good. So
I'll agree with you. Agree with you there. Just kind of a question that I had growing up in Charlotte, North Carolina. According to your MILB page, not a lot of baseball teams around there. So growing up, was there a team or a player that you grew up watching, or what kind of got you into the sport?
Yeah, well, so my dad was, he played baseball in high school and had a couple offers out of high school, but chose to kind of get into the workforce and stuff. And we had the Charlotte Knights right there. They were actually, when they were the Charlotte Knights, they were actually, before they got in that new stadium, they were down in, I think it was Fort Mill, South Carolina. So they were the Charlotte Knights, but they were not in Charlotte. But I grew up a Yankees fan. Kind of jumped on the bandwagon, and my T-ball team we were the Yankees. So, Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, watching those guys, was a fan for them growing up. So,
well, I'm sure Cardinal fans everywhere are happy to have you in their minor league system, and hopefully one day producing at Busch Stadium as well. So that's all the questions I had, Alec. I appreciate you taking the time here, and I wish you and everybody else the best of luck training down there in Florida, and good luck in Memphis once your season starts as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That's Alec Burleson, everybody. His Twitter's right there. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to follow along with the Memphis team this season as they look to provide some pretty exciting baseball this summer. So until I talk to you guys next time, be sure to stay safe, stay well, and have a fantastic rest of your day.